So, I love Maddie and Craig. This is my show. I love watching this show. They really do have some good like topics that they talk about on their show, and this is another one. And I have a few things to say as well. So I'm just gonna be going along with the conversation, and I'm gonna come in and add my two little cents, even though neither one of them asked me to, but I be agreeing with Mo and G. I do be agreeing with Mo and G. Like, it's not so much Maddie because I feel like Maddie, bitches be coming for her. So she got to hold her own, and she, like, yeah, she is for women. Like, don't get it twisted, like she is, but at the same point in time, yeah, it's like she for women, but and it's no but it's like some women come for her, so she have to defend herself and protect herself. So I think that Maddie do hold women accountable more so than Craig, because I watched this show, and I remember a time when Craig said out of his mouth that his mission was for black women, the gays, kids, and when it came to black men, he was like, "That's not so much my mission. Somebody else gonna have to do that." So I do think that Mo and G be right when they be saying that, like, and when they be saying that, women are not held accountable as much as men are on the show.
That's how men do. They use you up.
I'm mad y'all ain't have a lot to say about the girl in
Oh,
that.
you read my mind. I was about to come back to that.
Mm.
G was trying to attack us upstairs before we started the show. He said that we never hold black women accountable the way that we hold black men. And I disagree. I do. What do you mean we don't hold them?
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo.
We're listening.
Thank you, Mo.
We don't hold them accountable in terms of what?
Anything that they do.
Yeah,
Okay, like what?
anything. It always come back to it always come back to being our fault.
Yeah.
It always I'm not even gonna lie to you. It always come back to being our fault. And that's just the truth. Y'all not gonna like it, but that's the truth. I mean,
I think it depends on what we're talking about. And the way I can't
okay,
even believe
example.
I can't even believe y'all saying y'all because the way they say I don't like black women.
No, perfect example. There was an episode that we did where the woman came into this man's house, burned him, his girlfriend, and his child. Y'all still found a way to put it on that man's.
Was I here?
Yes, yes. Y'all were saying, well, maybe he did this, maybe he did that. And I'm like,
He lied.
yeah, maybe he lied, maybe he cheated. And I'm like, it doesn't say that.
Murder, answer that for mama. Well, G.
They told me enough on the voting until they got the numbers back.
Hold on.
They had to go. Hey, they wait till they got to Chicago. Hey, thank you, black man.
Hold on.
Thank you, black women.
We didn't think that one of y'all at all.
I got a record, so you know.
Okay, that's the only reason.
Joe, I'm still waiting on my part.
Just in case you didn't hear G said we didn't even give black men credit for voting until we got to Chicago, and then we thanked everybody in the audience. The truth is, and I know I sat my ass right here and said this, of the black men who voted, the majority of them did vote for Kamala. But what I did have a problem with was there weren't enough of us who were registered to vote, period, who didn't even engage themselves in the political process.
Okay, so now this is my two little cents. I don't think what Craig just said, I don't think that matters, because black men did show up and showed out to just like black women did. I really don't think that matters. What everybody is failing to realize about this past um, election is the 2.5 million people that did not vote for Donald or Kamala. That is what really did things in. We had a big 2.5 million people who sat up and said, well, neither candidate has good qualities, and we live in an age where people just do not want to do research. They don't want to they just want to go off of what somebody else said. They don't want to do their due diligence when it comes to doing their own independent research. Now, I live in Minneapolis, but I'm from Ohio, Toledo to be exact. My family is still in Ohio. I was talking to my family and they were saying, um, well, it was signs up that was literally posted that said, do not vote for Jill Stein because she has dropped out of the race. If you vote for her, your vote will not count. But do you think that made it everywhere in the country? No, obviously not. Obviously not. And I really think they do stuff like that. The unseen hand that's behind all of this, I really think they do stuff like that on purpose. It's a ploy to me. And so and so to my knowledge, through looking at everything, it was the 2.5 million people who voted for independent because they said stuff like neither one of the candidates have anything good to offer. But let me tell you my response to that. Okay, well, you have one that was talking about removing diversity, equality, and inclusion. So my black women who are uber successful with your degrees and everything else, that's gonna be hard for you. That's gonna be hard for you. My Latina women or my Latino men, my black men that are uber successful, that's gonna be hard for you because the whole reason why we had to go to that was because people who were qualified were still not getting the jobs. I grew up in the 90s. I heard about this was before everything was on computer. And the interviewer come out and look at you and look at the white man next to you. And then that person is getting the job. So one candidate wanted to get rid of that, the candidate who won. Um, he also wants to get rid of the Board of Education. He wants to take something that affects us all. What they're about to talk about next, slavery. He wants to take that out of the books. And I've seen some textbooks already where it changed the whole narrative. Talking about we wanted to come over here. We weren't they made it seem like it was a jolly old good time, like we had input, totally different from what actually happened. I've seen it in some textbooks already. But you have one person who wants to dismantle the Board of Education, putting a whole wrestler wife in charge of the Board of Education. This lady done lied, talking about she got a degree, ain't got no degree. Okay, one person wanted to give the police immunity. And we all know why he wanted to give them immunity. For when they shoot us down in the street. But the other one didn't want that. The other one wasn't talking about removing DEI. The other one wasn't talking about trying to be a dictator. But this one that you voted in office, this one is talking about trying to be a dictator. This one is talking about Project 2025. Those were the selling points for me. Like, do I really agree with what a lot of Kamala Harris says? No. But you know why I voted for her? Because she was the one that wasn't talking about trying to become a dictator. So even if I don't like her I can still deal with her for these next 4 years because she's not talking about getting rid of the Constitution and becoming a dictator. And a lot of y'all, this is the spirit of America. A lot of y'all will say, "Oh, that can never happen." That can never. You know who y'all be sounding like? Them people that got on the Titanic. Oh, it'll never sink. Oh, it'll never sink. Oh, 9/11 could never happen. Not on American soil. It showed your ass, huh? See, I don't want to be in that predicament. I don't want to be in that spirit where it's, oh, that could never happen. And then it happened. Nah. It's crazy how these 2.5 million people could not see that. They could not see that. That is what 2.5 million people that voted for independent parties. Jill Stein been running since she ran in 2012, 2016, and then again in 2024. I don't know when the bitch gonna get that. She just not gonna get it. It's not happening, Jill Stein. And I need to go in my little corner and pray for her to have a heart attack or something. I mean, please, we don't want to see, if there is another election, we don't want to see you on the ballot. It's not going to happen, Captain. But they know this. That's why she's on the ballot. Cornel West, Dr. Cornel, or whatever your name is. Hey, I respect you, brother. Handshake. But we don't want to see your ass on the ballot no more either. It's not going to happen, Mr. West. It's just not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen. These independent parties, they never win. They never win. We've had two. The first one was George Washington. And another one was, I said his name before. I don't remember it, but it's been two people of the independent party that has won. Stop voting for these people. We need to change the election process. Look, okay, if a candidate is looking strong in the independent, then fine, put them on the ballot. But if who's making it to the debate? Who's doing the debating? Who is everybody tuning in to watch debate? Okay, them the candidates. That's who we choosing. And we need to get rid of this electoral college. Another thing that people don't want to talk about, but I've already talked about this, so that's my little two little cents on that. It does not matter that more more black men could have. You just heard one that's in the midst of y'all. He said he got felonies. Are these black men that we counting? Are we sure that they can even vote? What if they have felonies? But I do know that, to Craig's point, I do know that some black gay men could have done better because I talked to a few of them. I was out there. I was trying to do my due diligence and seeing where people's mindset was. In our own community, we had a lot of black gay men that did not vote. And they could vote. They weren't felons. One just flat out told me, you know. And now the same one coming trying to talk to me. Well, what's gonna happen? Nah, find out.
So I was talking about ratio. By ratio, the black men who voted, they showed up and they performed. But there were too many of you who didn't even register. There were too many of you who registered and didn't even go down there to vote. His cornbread is the answer.
That cornbread is fire.
That cornbread the answer.
That
cornbread is
fire.
good. Bitch.
It's like, is it garlic?
No, it's corn.
No.
But we do. I believe that we hold black women accountable.
Not enough. And that's the problem.
What do you mean not enough?
He's basically saying like, he's basically saying like, the energy isn't the same. The way that you guys, I'm going to put it in nice terms. Criticize black men is far different from other, our counterparts.
I think we do
with.
criticize black women and black men.
That I do agree with. What Mo just said, I do agree with that. It don't be the same energy. It don't be the same energy that y'all have. Like, baby, y'all go in on black men. Y'all do. It don't. I agree with Mo.
My bitch is mad with me.
Right.
Niggas asking me why white women better than why white women treat black men better than motherfucking black women.
Who asked you that? Who asked you that?
G asked you that?
Who asked you that? Because that wasn't the question.
Ooh, this face. Nice.
The problem is black men don't like to be held accountable.
Y'all hold the world holds black.
Neither do black women. Baby, black women will gaslight you quicker than a black man will. I've been friends with black women. Okay? So no, I don't agree with that. Black women don't like to be told nothing. Okay? It's hard to get a black woman to hold herself accountable.
Men accountable all the time.
But you don't like to
All day.
acknowledge it.
It's
you
nothing
don't like
about
to acknowledge
acknowledging
it.
it. That's not true.
Let me tell you something.
Because perfect example, when y'all say black men, there aren't enough black men that have good jobs or making enough money or whatever. What do you think men out here trying to do? Make more money. Why? Because they're trying to they're going to what you guys are saying. The reason why black men are, and I'm gonna say this, y'all might not like it, but I'm gonna say this. You guys always make it seem like men aren't smart, men aren't this, men aren't that.
We didn't say that.
No, I'm not talking about y'all.
No,
I'm talking about
jab me.
I'm talking about in general.
Oh,
I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
I wasn't even talking about you. I'm talking about in general. Majority of people don't look at black men as being all that bright.
Let me say
and the fact is, even when black men bring up grievances or anything that they might disagree with our counterparts with, we get chastised, we get abused, we get insulted, and
Gaslighting.
where's the fact, where's the equal playing field? You guys say it all the time, but it only time that you really take up is if it goes with
Narrative.
what you're trying to, with the information that you're trying to bring up.
Narrative.
But any other time, it's like we're just getting the back end of everything. And I'm not even going to lie to you, because I'll sit here, and that's why sometimes I'm just quiet, because it's like,
they tell your ass up.
yeah, that's why I just, because
and if
it's
they
like,
knew half the shit you said to me, they would fry your ass too.
but see,
because you can't. It's like we can't even have an opinion without being looked at as not being men. We have, you see, perfect example. If I'm speaking how a lot of people feel, all you get is quiet, Mo, hush, Mo. You don't know what you're talking about. This, that, and so that's the point I'm trying to bring up. That's the point.
But see, the thing is, here's the thing.
Who was raised to not show emotion? Who was raised to not cry. Black men. And yes, most households are headed by, black women. But at the same point in time, black women, some of those black women actually did that to those little boys growing up. What you crying for? You sound like a faggot. Don't be crying like no girl. What you walking like that for? You walking like a girl. So, who was raised to not show emotion? Who was raised to not cry? Who had to cry in silence, in the dark, by themselves? That's something to think about.
Black man. I may be gay, but I'm still a black man. What I've noticed, no matter what the subject is, whether it's relationships and how men, sometimes black men, don't show up for women in relationships and the way that women show up, that doesn't mean that every single black woman walking the face of the planet is a good woman.
Because they're not.
Because they're not. I'm not saying that, but I'm speaking generally. Generally speaking, a black woman shows up in a relationship nurturing, caring, giving, supportive, all of those things. A black woman is typically ride or die. A black woman typically goes out. Typically, I'm not saying that there aren't some shit women out there, but typically a black woman is going to show up, even if it's not your mother, her motherfucking kid. She's dropping your kid off, doing this, doing that, cooking for you, doing all of the things to show you that she's a great partner.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, you niggas won't reward them with a relationship or marriage or the same level of support. Hold on. Okay. And like I was saying before,
I agree.
Black women, because we're talking about black women oftentimes know exactly what's going on with a black man's health. Prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer. She's telling your ass to go to the doctors about your blood pressure. You niggas don't know what endometriosis is. You niggas don't know what fibroids are. You don't know shit about her health because you don't take the time to give a fuck. Here's the other thing that I was saying. I'm gonna let you say what you want to say.
Something that's real.
I have said this before. There are so many things that black men, straight black men, could learn from black women and black queer people. But because you motherfuckers think you know it all, you don't learn. You miss a lot of lessons. The last thing is black women and black queer people have figured out a way how to navigate this society in a way that's a bit more successful than black men, generally speaking. That doesn't mean.
Now, I disagree with that. I do disagree with that because, see, it's not that we figured out a way. It's not that we figured out a way to navigate the world better than the heterosexual black man. No. See, the one who pulls the strings of all this shit, Esau, the white man, the one who pulls the strings, he's the puppet master. And he lifted up, he elevated black women and black gay men because we are no threat to him. We are no threat. See, it's a chance that me or Craig is not going to reproduce. That's a chance, right? Because we're gay. So we're no threat to him. So it's kind of like, we'll let them pass because they no threat to us. They're going to die off and, whatever. Whatever. And you know that I am telling the truth about that. we are not seen as a threat to them, black gay men. But and with the women, they always love them. They always love them a piece of black ass. Okay, men and women, and they love the BBC too. Cause I've always said that. Okay, think about it. And Maddie no porn, so think about it. How many times do you see a black man letting his black wife come in? I mean, let this they a couple, and they let some white man come in and screw the black woman while the man watched. No. But that happened all the time, flip it. That happens all the time. You see it all. You see it. I don't know. Is it cuckolds or whatever or pogs or whatever? I don't know, honey. But so, I mean, they love us. They have an infatuation. It's just they love us in the dark, but they hate us, in public. And so that's why I could never date, I could never date a white person. I couldn't. But and then I just feel like they can take the black woman and they can lay with her, and she's going to be elevated anyway because now she's laying with him. And when he drops his seed in her, he's going to produce biracial children. And we are what our fathers are. And I'm going to show you that too. I'm talking about this in my next lesson. I'm talking about this in my next lesson. Because we are the true children of Israel. We're the real Jews. And we was numbered by we were counted by our father's house, meaning it goes by the man. So the white man could take the black woman, and he could just, drop seed in her, produce biracial kids, raise them up, and then his seed, which is, we see this 9 times out of 10, is gonna probably date a white girl. And then when he drop his seed in her, now the child is coming out even more white. Doing away with the black woman side. And they studied this. They studied this during slavery. I can show this. If you don't believe me, there's a documentary called Whited Out. Watch number 2. Background check on the white man. Okay? And then, so once they keep going, because now his son done married a white girl and dropped seed in her. Now they done had kids. And if that continues, the whole black side to be whited out. Breeded out. So, and we as gay people don't want to recognize that. We do not want to recognize that because, and a lot of us struggle. A lot of us do struggle. Yes, I struggle. Oh, baby, I struggle. I don't know. I struggle. I can't stress it enough. But I mean, I'm still blessed. Oh, I'm still blessed. Oh, I'm still blessed. Don't get it twisted. Because it's not as hard for me as it probably would be a Taekwon or a Rayshawn or a Pookie or, one of those guys that probably do got kids and Probably, hanging with the wrong crowd. That's something that heterosexual black men gotta fix, though. Because there's no excuse for that. How y'all group up, y'all hang with the wrong crowd. You know what I'm saying? And then you get in trouble. You leave your kids out here because you in jail. So y'all got a lot of stuff that y'all do gotta work on. So if that's, but black gay men get in trouble too. Black gay men go to jail. So, but I'm just saying, we were kind of elevated, and you don't understand that this was an attack on the black man. And when they talking about the black man, they mean the heterosexual black man, because those are the ones that's gonna get in that coup de cat and drop that seed and reproduce more little black boys. So that's the attack. It's not it's I mean, yeah, they came for us too. They came for us too with the whole HIV epidemic. Oh, they came for us cuz they hate us too. That's man-made. That's man-made. So they came for us too. But it was still going to ricochet and hit the majority pool, which is the heterosexual black man and woman. Because you got in our culture these DL dudes that go over to that pool. So, like, sometimes I see it as arrogance, like what he just said, well, black gay men and black women have figured out a way to navigate. No, honey, no. The only reason why we was able to navigate is because a channel was opened up for us too. But it's like, okay, how can I explain this? Okay, you know how when a narcissist is done with one supply, his main supply, he like or the main supply has had enough of being drained and they finally move the fuck on. I've been there. And so what the narcissist will do, right? He'll go to somebody else who's unsuspecting and he'll treat them good as hell. He'll treat them good as hell. But it's to get back at that main supply. It's not for the benefit of the unsuspecting new supply. No. It's to get back at this main supply. So to me, what I'm trying to say is black heterosexual men would be that main supply. And black women and black gay men were the unsuspecting new victims. Because you see, he didn't give a fuck about us either. Hello, HIV, hello. Man-made by them, by their scientists. And you don't think it's possible? Oh, okay. Well, you ask the people that's in St. Louis during the 1950s. They got sprayed with tuberculosis. Ask them. Ask the Tuskegee Airmen who was injected with the syphilis. Ask them and see what they tell you. So that's my thoughts on that. I just think that we have a kind of arrogance, and think about it. That's why if you really, and that can kind of be tied into why they are reprimanded anytime like they say no homo or stuff like that. It's like when they just find that little half breed boy, whatever his name is, I don't know, the little half breed one. Um, when they find him for $100,000 for saying no homo, it's but we all know that that money is not going to the LGBTQIA community, and the damn sure ain't going to the black one if it did. So, it's to get back at them. It's to get back at that main supply. So all of and that's why I did this video, because and please don't take I love Craig. I love Craig. Like, I don't want to sleep with Craig, but I love Craig, I love Maddie. Like, I love Maddie. Like, she has said a lot of things that has resonated with me, like, said in my spirit, not even in a bad way, like, or anything like that. It's just, like, I know how it feel when she talk about her Aunt Darlene, because I have a Aunt Queen, and I just know how that feels. So I just think that, these people, the puppet master, have used all of us against each other. Hence the Willie Lynch letter. And we still doing this today. It's still in scenes like the ballroom scene when they had these like face categories, and they have the dark against the light face, big against little. What I would say, like, I mean, because most people, well, how it's supposed to be is the older people are supposed to be icons, but now they giving, people icons just for being in the scene for, not as long. So I guess, but at one point in time, the older icons versus the legends. So I mean, like, we see it's fabricated in our way of living, in our culture, still affecting us. And until we break that, and I always say it's not a competition. It's not a competition. And I've said that like a few times in my book. Like, it's not a competition. It's not about who was done the worst. Both black men and black women was done horribly. What about the black men that did die for, their women, and the women still got raped? I mean, we seen it in the movies. Remember the movie that Mariah Carey was in? Remember how he shot that dude? How many times did that happen? The man just said, "Hey," and he turned around, blew him away. What about, you know, what about today? What about when these girls, even today, be petty, getting into it with people, and then they go run and get a man, and then that man come back and he get blown away? So, yeah, men do die for, women. But like I said, I think it's not so much we learn to navigate. No, I don't think we were given a channel and we swam through that. A channel that was not open. But I believe it was open to get back at that main supply.
They aren't successful black men, but generally speaking, black women and black queer people have managed to navigate the society in a way that you all haven't. We could teach you those things, but you won't listen to black women because you think you know it all and you want to mansplain everything to her, and you won't get too close to us because you think the gay or the trainee is going to jump off on you. And I'm done.
Now I do agree with that part. Y'all could learn some things from, black gay men. And some of y'all do feel like, you don't want to get close to because you think that a black gay man is going to jump off on you and stuff like that. And I prove people wrong every day. Um, but I do also want to say it's not like we all innocent either, because you have some black gay men that make it a point to try to make something sexual. They just can't help themselves. So that does exist. That does exist. But does that mean we all should be treated like that? No. No. To my heterosexual black men, you know how it feels to be stereotyped by white police officers, or you know how it feels to be, racially profiled. It's the same way when y'all do that to us. You just automatic. I really do take offense to that. Like I really do. It's the dude at work. I overheard him saying some shit. So I make it a point not to look at this motherfucker. I don't talk to him. I don't so much to the point where like he came out of his way to speak to me. And I still and then I spoke. I was like, "What up?" and kept on going. And after that, I don't know if he thought we was gonna be speaking, but no, and I didn't go to HR or anything like that because it wasn't that serious, But baby, oh, I'm gonna make you know it with that. When straight men do that, I'm gonna make you know it. I'm gonna make you know it, cause I say it all the time. If you tell me that you are straight, I respect that. I don't want you. There's too many gay men out here that, I could have. So I'm not, checking for you. But I am also wise and mature enough to know that all gay men don't think like me. All gay men don't think like me. Um, it's some out there, you can't be nice to them. Cause um, soon as you do, you know, then they plan on sucking your dick, So I mean, it's there. I don't know. I try to be mindful. I try to be mindful of my actions. I try to be mindful of my words. Like, I don't be sitting up talking about when I see a handsome man, on the screen or whatever. I don't be like, now I have him, and I know he's straight. I don't do stuff like that because it's disrespectful. And then on the same token, black men, like, y'all do that to women all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk vulgar to them, and some people do like it, some people don't. But I'm just saying that's something that we all could work on because I've even seen black girls, honey. I've seen y'all too. Y'all get reckless out the mouth too when you get a little liquor in you. You don't even know if the man is married or nothing. So that goes. I think we all need to work on how we talk to each other, like, and be more respectful. I think that we all need to work on that. Gay, straight, just in our community. Period. Black people. Period. We need to work on that.
I want to go,
Go ahead.
but I can't.
Well,
But
what you said is true.
you want to come to them? Here you go.
You do have
Because I know they want to hear what you trying. I know they want to hear what you got to say.
you do have a big group of men that won't listen to a woman or really ain't gonna listen to nobody of the queer community
Yeah.
or whatnot. But what about the ones that do?
But those men are in the minority.
Even when it comes down to the woman, because most households are ran by black women. So even when during the campaign, y'all was saying how most households are ran by black women. So even when during the campaign, y'all was saying how black man don't want no black woman in office. That's not true because 99.9% of black homes, the mothers run them with an iron.
That's why I didn't understand why people didn't trust Kamala, a black woman, to run this country. Because black women run the black community and black households, like you just said.
Because the fathers is always away from the house, or the man is always away from the house. So the mama have to, enforce certain things or whatnot. But to say that black men don't listen to black women, that's hard. I listen to my mama. I ain't have a choice.
Yeah, but that was a different power dynamic. I'm talking about in relationships.
Correct. They really want women to be subjective
And subservient.
And not only because I experienced this as a trainee, and I have to let a nigga know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
you that shit you pull on the cunt,
Right.
that don't work in this space.
Right.
Because bitch, I don't even have my
and that's the part where I don't. That's the part where I have pushback because
like listen,
you say that
I don't want to go there.
You say that men just want somebody to.
I don't want to go in this the area
to serve them, and that's not true, because that is not majority.
I didn't say serve. I said you look at women as subservient.
Correct.
Nobody looks at women as subservient.
Because
Look, if a man, because we even had this discussion even in Chicago when you guys said men just get married to have a woman take care of them and do that, and that's not true. That is not true, because that, you want me to tell you why?
Well,
that's
so
not
do
true?
women.
You can hire somebody to take care of you.
Well, that's basically what she's done.
No,
that's basically what you've done.
Yeah, but
for free.
But why would? Well, no, it's not, because it's not free. Because the fact that a man says, "I want to marry you," he's not doing it to say.
What happened months later? Months.
What do you mean? What happened once?
What happened months later?
What do you mean? What happened months later?
Well, why are all these women singing the same fucking song? Why are they all singing the same song?
No truth to it.
They're singing the same song about this same dude. They singing the same song. So obviously,
but do you think it might be from the men that you choose, to end up with, though?
Exactly.
Say that again.
We all have choices. We all have choices. Nobody forces you, because
be out there complaining about bitches.
I accept that shit. I accept that shit. And how many times have I said that on this show?
I think the reason why a lot of black people date white folks, I think it has something to do with slavery. I think it has something to do with, that whole Willie Lynch thing, that's just what I think. I think that because before you would not see that, and I think that through media and through it being pushed so tough, I think that's why, this is a thing now. Because beforehand, we was all segregated. We did not see this. And they about to get on a topic that is the main reason why I started recording this. They about to get on that topic. That topic is another reason why I think that mostly black men go to white women, because black women had already sold out to the white man. They're about to touch on it, though.
When have I ever been biased when it comes to stuff like this? I'm not biased. The only way I disagree with you is when you guys say it's every single man, and then
I've never said it's every single man. I have not. But
ain't never got up here and said it's every single motherfucking man. We ain't never said it.
When I say that there are good men out there, y'all be like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't.
No, we said few.
No, you don't say few, Maddie. Y'all do not say few. Y'all do not say few.
Well, I have, because I'm like, I don't fall in that category. Like, I believe I'm a person with integrity. When I go into a relationship, I'm a person with integrity. I believe that I'm fair, not just in relationships, but I'm also fair just in terms of dealing with people. But what I'm saying is, what I think we're saying is, a lot of times men will take as long as they think they can take. I think a lot of times men will take advantage, and they will sometimes take advantage of a woman's emotions.
But it's the same way on the other foot. And that's the point I be trying to tell y'all.
But that's what I said at the top. I'm not saying that. But that's what I said at the top. I'm not saying that there aren't women who aren't greedy, that there aren't women who aren't out there. I'm saying generally speaking, a woman just wants her equal. A woman just wants what she puts into a relationship. A lot of times we'll see a black man make it after this black woman has poured into him, invested in him, helped him build his business, or helped him get through college and get into the NBA or start a business, and the business becomes successful. And then he will do her dirty. And I'm not saying that there aren't women who do that. What I'm saying is, by ratio, you see that happening more from men towards women than women towards men. Last thing I'm gonna say, I saw an interview. I think I said this one of the last times, or we may have been at a live show somewhere.
The ratio stuff, it don't really matter to me, because both sides are doing it.
Where Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharp did an interview, and Shannon said,
or you've never witnessed or seen a man that puts his wife on a pedestal.
That's not what I said.
No, if you answer the question, I'm going to answer.
I have.
So
hold on. Okay, let me answer it.
Okay.
I have. My nephew is now divorced. He put his wife on a pedestal. She didn't work for the first maybe 10 years that they were together, maybe, if not longer, right? But he thought, and a lot of you motherfuckers think, that because you got your woman or your wife on a pedestal, and that because you're paying the bills and she can stay at home, and I'm not done. Listen, see, he ready to respond.
No, because
listen to what.
Okay, go ahead.
On a pedestal, they traveled. They went out of the country. He bought all of her cars.
But that's not what I mean by pedestal.
So what do you mean by putting on the pedestal?
I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, but Craig, if you're saying he did all of those things and he still cheated on her, that's not putting her on a pedestal, baby. That's not putting her on a pedestal. That's some straight narcissism stuff. That's not putting her on a pedestal. Now, if he would have done all of those things and been faithful, which is, I don't know, because Craig never got to it, but if he would have done all of those things and been faithful to her, then yes, pedestal, yes. But it sounds like you're saying that because he did all of those things, he thought that it gave him license to cheat. Well, if that was his thought process, then that's not putting her on a pedestal. So that argument, that example that you use was kind of, no, that was a bad example.
Let me finish my point.
Okay.
My point is, a lot of you think that because you put a woman on a pedestal and you take care of home and the bills and that gives you license to do what you want to do in the street, that it gives you license to have multiple women, that it gives you license to cheat, that it warrants any type of bad behavior because you're doing this, and
but
this.
That's not
so
what
what do you mean by putting somebody on a pedestal?
Put somebody on a pedestal, I mean they make their whole life according to that woman.
And he did
no,
that.
No. I'm not talking about.
Not if he was cheating.
I'm talking about
he did that.
Not if he was cheating. Not if he was cheating.
He did that.
No, he didn't.
Because the
not if he was cheating.
Pedestal I'm talking about the guys that be like that they don't even dare look at another woman. They would
right.
If a woman came to them, they'll be like, nah, I'm my wife. Nah,
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that doesn't exist. What I'm saying is that is in the minority.
But that's
so we're talking about a cultural prevalence.
And my whole thing with this minority and the ratios and stuff, we have to remember Black women outnumber black men. They outnumber black men. So yeah, and by the time as things continue, it's even in the scriptures. Um, one man is going to be laid hands on by at least 10 different women. I think I've read that in the scriptures. And this is after like Christ come back and everything else. I mean, because women outnumber men. That's a fact. So that's why, I mean, the whole ratio stuff, all of that stuff don't matter. It's not a competition. It's happening on both sides. And it does exist. There are some good black men out here that do put their women on a pedestal. They don't cheat. They are faithful. They are family men, and they're not gay, so, and they are smart. They are intelligent. They do have good jobs. Nobody's perfect, so he might be an asshole, but at least he's still good to his family unit.
You see,
We're talking
the point that I'm trying to
cultural prevalence.
But Craig, the point I'm trying.
Okay, I agree. It does exist in some cases.
So then
we're talking about the ratio here.
Do you think a lot of that comes from slavery? Because
Absolutely.
a lot of black families was torn
You-
apart as soon as they
Yeah.
came to Virginia. They were shipped to different.
Absolutely.
places.
And I'm
the black woman didn't have a choice.
and I'm going to illustrate it for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm a slave, and I was used to breed. So I'm on a plantation in Virginia, and I'm there, and I'm used as a stud. So the master makes me have babies with all of the women on that property. Then he sells me, and now I'm in South Carolina, and I'm used to breed there. Then that master sells me, and then I'm now living in Maryland, and I'm used to breed there. Now I'm in Connecticut, and on and on and on and on and on. There's a pathology that is flowing through our bloodstream, and that is a part of the pathology. I believe that exists, because
That's
what
true.
happens is you see the same shit happening right here in Atlanta, New York, Virginia, wherever. Black men are having children in the same communities, the same way they were being bred as slaves. You could have children.
But at the same point in time, we're not slaves, quote unquote, we're not slaves anymore. So now women have a choice. It's not like how it was back in the day. Women have a choice to lay down with these men. And that is the part that they are talking about when they say y'all don't hold women accountable like you do men. You're doing it right now. You're making it seem as if women today don't have a choice. They have a choice to lay down with these men. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something, and black women, you might not like this, but this is the truth. I have even had black women try to sleep with me. They know I'm gay. They know my situation. They know. And they still try to sleep with me. Okay? I was scrolling through social media. I was watching Kendra G. She had a light-skinned, handsome brother on her with dreads on her platform. And he came on and he openly said that he was looking for men. He was looking for men. He was gay. He was upfront with it. Everything. Like, okay, this is a no-no, women. Like, no. Like, but guess who hit him up? Guess who was the majority hitting him up? Telling him that they could change him. Is he sure? Like, is he sure he's gay? And all of this stuff. But see, they don't want to talk about that, though. Women have a choice. They do not have to sleep with these guys. I've been friends with women that will run the guy that's trying to talk to her down. Oh yeah, I know he got a baby mama. I know he, and she ugly and all of this and this, running the baby mama down, running the kids down, know that he's a bum, but she will go ahead and sleep with him anyway. And then when she get pregnant, now it's time to have an abortion. Well, he didn't have a condom. Well, why didn't you? Because you want the raw dick too. Women have a choice. Today they have a choice. So, yes, all of that did happen during slavery. Yes, that did happen. But guess what? Today, women do have a choice. And a lot of them still choose wrong.
In the same zip code, 7 different babies mamas. And then you'll turn right around and you'll have another kid in a whole nother state.
But that's not the only reason why.
I'm not saying that's the only reason,
because
but what I'm saying is,
because if we want to talk about the real reason why.
I'm not saying that's the only reason,
Because
but what I'm saying is,
because if we want to talk about the real reason why.
You're not listening. I'm not saying that that's the only reason, but it informs how many of you move today. Okay. And what I'm saying is, you all don't stop and think about this shit or research and study. You speak from emotion. You said men aren't emotional. You are emotional. You're speaking to me now from emotion without information. That's it.
So the information. So you.
I can say the same about you, though, Craig.
I was going to say that's not the only reason.
You're speaking from emotion too.
How about the fact that the government was initiating a lot of these single parent houses?
This was the whole reason why I wanted to record this conversation and add my 2 little cents. I know all the other stuff, but this is the main meat and potatoes.
Why? Because they were giving you an incentive to become single. They were giving you incentives to kick men out the house so you can get more money. That's actually a bigger factor, to be honest with you.
I don't know if it's bigger.
You want me to tell you why?
It is. Oh, baby. It is. Because, see, me, I study Negro history. I study slavery. Because, in order to be able to tell you that, we are the children of Israel, I had to study our atrocities in Egypt and as well as in Mexico. So I can tell you all about that. Now, before welfare, 4 out of 5 black homes had both parents in them. Both. Or we was poor as fuck. Or we was poor. But both parents was in that house. Now follow me. Black women, you got tired of being poor. And I don't blame you. I mean, you got tired of being poor. Girl, you got tired of eating ketchup sandwiches without no bread. You got tired of eating, mud pies. Some of y'all. You got tired of it. You wanted some long and silky. You wanted your hair to be up in pins just like them white women. So, when the white man came, the government, you took the buyout. A lot of y'all did. That's what he's talking about now. And that kicked the black man out of the home. That is where all of these problems that we see today, that's where it stems from. I know you don't want to agree with it, but it is. It is. Because I've already told you that black gay people and black women got a pass. We got a channel that was opened up. That's how we was able to navigate. See, because the attack was on us, yes, but the main attack was on the 2 brothers that y'all talking to. that's who the main attack was on. See, we all good, because it's a chance that none of us three that you see in this little triangle right here, these two and me, it's a chance that we won't reproduce. But them two that they talking to, it's a very good chance that they will produce. And that, my friend, is what the main attack was on. Oh yeah, they want us out too. Oh, but they definitely want to get them two brothers that y'all talking to out. And that is how they did it. With welfare.
Should I tell you why? Because before then, the marriage percentage was higher than it ever was until that happened. Once that happened, that's when the whole family thing really went to shit. Was when they started doing I think it was it Cosmo?
Craig, you're about to misspeak. That's why I wanted to do this video, but you're about to misspeak.
Something like that, where they had these rich white women that were living a luxurious life, telling women that were in middle classes and of other ethnic groups that, oh yeah, it's great to be single, it's great to do this, it's great to be on your own. And a lot of people adopted that mentality and went with it.
That happened. I disagree with the part where you say it happened. It played more of a part. And I disagree because the time period that pre-antebellum that I'm speaking about, Black people weren't even allowed to get married. So it was against the law to even get married.
But we're talking about when.
Okay. So, yes, that might have been true. Black people might not have been allowed to get married by the government, but Black people were still getting married, Craig. That's where you misspoke. See, when our ancestors jumped the broom, and they went back in that shack and they had sex, that consummated the marriage. See, this is why my video, and I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put this in my Christmas lesson. And when I'm reading the Immaculate Conception, because this goes into what I'm actually speaking about. A lot of people have marriage, the whole marriage ordeal wrong. So a lot of the times, because our ancestors are the true children of Israel, a lot of the times there was no paperwork. But you know who kept the records? The Most High. That's where soul ties come in. That's why we're not supposed to be out here just fucking and fucking and fucking. Because when you have sex, you are marrying somebody according to God. According to if you believe in God, the God that you claim to believe in, that's how he see it. That's why he instituted sex for reproduction purposes and marriage and coming together as one. That's what that means. It don't mean, to be at the bathhouse sucking 10 penises. Not saying that any one of them have done that. No, I say that all the time. That's just something that I say. It don't mean going to the party, with 400 people that's in the dark having sex. That's what sex was not intended for that. So when our ancestors jumped that broom and they went back in that shack and they laid together, they knew each other. They's married now. That's how it is. That's why I'm going to put this in my lesson. Because I even use the scriptures. I even read the scriptures to show. So.
When we were able to get married, we were getting married at high rates. Is that true or false?
We were getting married at high rates, but what you said was you think that the government had more of a role in why this breakdown happened more so than what I just described with the
It
plantation
did.
thing.
I do agree.
Sir, I don't think you know how big of an impact welfare was. The government instituted welfare. And then even if you still don't agree with that, the government instituted slavery. The government did this. Guess who runs the government? Esau. The white man, the cave dwellers. That's who runs the government. That's who did this. They came up here to kill the natives. And then they put us in slavery because we never kept our end of the covenant to the Most High. So, yes, the government did do this. Okay? It's levels to this shit. It's levels to this shit. So they came in with slavery. Then they came in with Jim Crow laws, black codes, redlining, all of this stuff to beat us down spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, because we never got the proper mental health that we deserve. So they came in with that, and then they circled back around with the left hook, which was welfare. And at the time, we didn't see how big of an impact this would have on us. See, they know how important the black man is, the heterosexual black man. They know that. They know that. That's why they have used many propaganda tactics. If you want to cross over into the Illuminati, talking about putting all the black men in dresses. In the NBA, making them carry purses. Well, some of them ain't even making them, but I believe that they had a plan to separate the black man and black woman, and they really wanted to, because in war, women and children, they raped the women, and they even killed the children, so women and the children are really non-factors. It's the men, because the men is the one that gives life through that man's sperm.
I do.
And I'm saying that I disagree because black people weren't even allowed to get married.
But black people was
but
getting married.
when we were able to get married, we were doing it at a high rate. It wasn't until, and I'm talking about since we've had the ability.
The government may not have recognized the marriages, but do you think God didn't recognize the marriages? Do you think that man and that woman that made that decree to each other didn't recognize that? Because we could take it over to our side. We wasn't allowed to get marriage rights for a long time. So what about all the couples on our side? We know what that feels like to not have no rights. But do you think between that one man and that other man that really loved each other? And no, it's in the 80s, it's in the early 90s. No, we can't get married. And one of them might have the supermarket sweep, so they might not even made it to see gay marriage get legalized, But do you think that those two didn't recognize that they were married? No, the government didn't count it, but they did.
Want to do. Ever since that those things by the government have been put into place, our community has been the one that's been getting the butt end of the stick.
You right, Mo. Amen, Mo. You right, bro.
You summed it up for me what I needed to hear. Thank you. When you said that y'all idolize niggas, they fuck off on a bunch of motherfucking bitches.
No, I said the community. Well, because let's be real. If we're going to be real,
that's the key. That's all I needed to hear.
But it is glorified. It is glorified not only by men, but by women too. Because nobody held a gun and made them women do the Nelly Tip drill video. Nobody held a gun to them girls' head. No, they wanted to be seen. Nobody held a gun to them girls' head when they got on MC Hammer pumps with the bumps. Nobody held a gun to those girls' heads. Nobody held a gun to those girls' head who participated at Freaknik. They knew what they was going to do. They knew what they was going to do. They idolized it too. Why do you think female rap was started? And I love Lil' Kim down. I love Lil' Kim. But she plays a role in that. So it's on both sides. It's on both sides. How about this? What about this? They came together. They came together in a meeting with them Jewish people. Same people that own Viacom. They came together with them Jewish people and they had a meeting where they was going to push out the conscious rap like Nas, KRS-One, and they was going to bring you niggas with attitude. In all factors, they have been playing. They've been a puppet master. You want to talk about drugs? Okay, you know about Freeway, Ricky Ross. And what happened with that? And it was all good. It was all good when it was our people. Oh, but now today that it's Kelly and Becky and Jason and Connor, now that it's them that we find an overdosing in the cars, now it's a problem. But when it was us, it wasn't no problem because that was their plan. But guess who made it ricochet? The Most High. Now it's on y'all. So, yes, when Mo said that we as a community idolize this, we do. We do. Ain't these girls that's getting in these music videos and shaking it fast and all of that, ain't nobody holding no guns to these girls' heads. Now, when they go into these Hollywood parties and they getting the drugs put in the liquor and the wine and stuff, that's wrong. That's wrong. But honey, I'm gonna tell you like this, and I don't give a damn what nobody say. After a few times, everybody knew what R. Kelly was doing. Cause we gossip like no other. Everybody knew what that. You had people that was purposely going to the McDonald's to be scouted. But we don't want to talk about that. What about some of them mothers that do that to their own daughters, knowing that this man has a problem with young girls, but here you gonna parade your daughter in front of him? Yes, is he wrong? Yes, but the woman is playing it too. And she don't get talked about though. It's just focusing on him. So it's been like that for a long time. I agree with them, with what they're saying. I agree with Mo. And it's them Jewish people that has pushed that type of hip hop culture onto our people while they have made millions off of us. First, they stole our bloodline. Well, they didn't steal our bloodline. Can't steal a bloodline, but they stole our culture. They stole our identity. They stole our gold. And then turned around and exploited us and made millions off of us. That is why there's no repentance for them.
But that means men and women.
That
means men and women.
No, women.
Why do y'all go after the same men?
Well, bitch, usually them niggas that we go after have coin.
So then, can you blame the man? You can't put all the blame on men. Then,
well,
if you're telling me that you guys are going after these men because they have money or they have something.
Well, here's the thing: would you rather cry in a motherfucking Maybach or a Honda?
Then why complain then?
That's gaslighting.
If you rather cry in a motherfucker, listen.
My point is, if that's what you choose, why are you complaining and why are you trying to put it?
My thing is, so you mean to tell me that? So one, dang, man got duped again. So you sold out to the white man, and then when that didn't work out for you, now you coming back to the black man, who's also sold out to the white man, with the money. And expecting them to treat you right. I don't know. I mean,
on men. Why can't it be both people chose wrongly, both people doing wrong?
Listen,
and
right, Mo.
When the feminine energy comes into walks into a relationship, when the feminine energy walks in, a feminine energy is coming in for a partner.
Yeah.
The masculine energy usually comes in for multiple.
That's what I'm trying to say.
For multiple partners.
That's not.
I've conquered true. This. What that's like.
That's not always true.
And after a while, when you are tired as a feminine energy of
what they just did is what Mo is talking about. So men don't. So I know plenty of men that have money and they look for partnership. It seems like to me, all the bad people meet the good people. Like, I don't know, and it's just lessons, and you gotta learn these lessons, and it's like, dang, two good people can't never just meet. You gotta go through all this bullshit, and so I don't agree with that. Because you got a lot of feminine energies who go in looking for coin. They go in looking to be taken care of. So it goes both ways, man. I agree with Mo. Mo, you are right on the money. It's both parties. I always say this all the time. It's not a competition. It's happening on both sides. Both sides are suffering. Both sides have suffered. Both sides have had casualties. But in just looking at things, our biggest downfall after not keeping the covenant, after not keeping, what we promised to the Most High, our biggest downfall was when women went on welfare, kicking a man out of the household. That was a major blow to the family aspect of black people, who are the real children of Israel.
Receiving the countless blowbacks in your face, like, damn, I really fuck with you, and you came in here and you wanted everybody in the room, but you sent your, what I say? You sent your representative to make me think that it was about me,
right?
When it was about me, and once I'm rested or scoot over who that is, or who this and who this or whatever. Once this happens, when do women? So women is supposed to continually not motherfucking evolve and be like, how much you got? How much you got?
But then
because you out of here anyway.
But my
so
point,
how much do you got?
My point is then, if that's what you are choosing, if that's the way you decide to live or have relationships with other men or with men or with whoever you're dating and you're having issues with them, why are you complaining,
Sweetie,
about what they're doing,
Sweetie,
and
listen,
then just blaming it on one side?
They
when
are
you both, when you
they're
both,
complaining. I tell them to fuck that nigga, get his money, and move on. They are complaining. They are.
I've never sat here and said to somebody,
add you a
just
husband
because you have a
to
different
your
opinion than me,
roster.
that makes you naive, or that makes you not as well seasoned. No,
But Mo, you just agreed with G that you both have participated in relationships that you did not want to be in.
And
but
I've
you,
also,
but you hold
and
on.
guess what?
But didn't you sleep with some woman's husband? Didn't you sleep with some woman's husband? So all this protect women and protect black women, where was that then? That's that hypocrite bullshit that they are talking about.
Has had a terrible relationship,
but we're talking about a cultural prevalence. Let's go back to the health thing that I talked about. How many men know what endometriosis is? But women can tell you about what fucking prostate cancer is.
Okay, and how many?
Okay. Well, at one point in time, women was more geared to go into healthcare than men was. So, yeah, that man, the reason why he couldn't tell you that much about the women's body, and that's been ingrained in us. Women have been geared to go into the medical field more than men. Women have been geared to go into the medical field more than men. At one point in time, men couldn't even be nurses. Men couldn't even be nurses. And then the men, your first male nurses, oh, they faced a lot of scrutiny. A lot of them, some of them were heterosexual. A lot of them was. But because they were going into a women's field, they were called gay. They were looked at as different. So that is, but to his point, men could step it up. You know, men could step it up. I mean, if this is your health partner, but I've worked in the health field too, and I've seen a black man there for his wife, know her medical condition, know her medications. I've seen it. I've seen it. Now, is it the majority? No. No, I would see it more from women but I would see it more from women, period. Not just black women, baby, Latinos, white women. I mean, that's because back in the day, women were made to go to the medical field and men were made to go to war. Now, his next point that he's about to bring up, and he's talking about how many men have died for women. Okay, let's talk about the army. At one point in time, women was not allowed in the army. I mean, I think it's great, today how women have overcame that hurdle and that they are in the army because but that's why it's such a shortage today. Today with men versus women, period. It's more women than there are men, period. Not just in the black race, not just the, like, I'm talking about women outnumber men. It's so bad that in China they had to make rules about a family that gave birth to too many kids and too many girls. Yeah. So, yeah, women outnumber men, period. And at one point in time, women wasn't allowed to go to war. So a lot of black men who didn't even have a woman. Some of the men was DL, was not open with their sexuality. They went to war too, and they died for women. Think about that. So yeah, at one point in time, women was not allowed to go to the army. Women was not allowed to go to war. So yeah, a lot of men died for women. I know it's not that way today as far as the army goes, but the damage has already been done. Because a lot of men died in the war. Not just Americans. I'm talking about men, period. Men died in war. That's why it's such a man shortage. Think about when the factories and stuff first came about. Women wasn't allowed to do those tough jobs. Not saying that they couldn't. Not saying that they wouldn't. But women wasn't allowed to do those jobs. Women wasn't allowed to be welders and, and iron makers and all of those, jobs. Like building the Titanic and stuff like that. Women wasn't allowed to do stuff like that back then. So guess what? The chances of a woman falling off of a new skyscraper or the chances of a woman falling off of a submarine being built or a boat being built was little to none because they didn't do the dangerous jobs. A lot. There were no women, coal miners and stuff like that. They wasn't allowed to do stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of women have had it made. They had a man die for them.
Men have died because of women. Put their lives on the line because of women.
Since you
No,
since-
because you just brought up something I brought up. I'm also
I
bringing
died
up-
on the
His
die
expression alone.
die trying to protect women.
It's
in
gaslighting.
what,
And
in
that
what
women-
instance?
There have been plenty instances.
Okay.
His expression alone is gaslighting. He's gaslight. Anytime they bring up a point, is they gaslight. Well, Craig do. Craig, this has happened. Like, and that's the whole reason why I did another video when cause when they was talking about voting and the whole Kamala Harris thing when G and Mo was talking, some of the responses that I was responding to was from Craig. Because Craig do a lot of gaslighting. It's like, I don't know. It's like sometimes I be wanting to know, like, have you forgotten that you a man? That you a black man? I mean, I know you've said it before. I mean, I thought you was joking, but I don't know if you know what? If I'm being honest, I don't think you was joking. Because you said, your mission was for black women, black gays, and kids. And you said that, black men gonna have to, find somebody else because you're not here for that. So I don't know. Seems kind of biased, but it's like you're a black man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Give me an example.
Okay, perfect example. We can go about what do you call it? The whole thing with what's this woman? The woman that
This is what I'm talking about facts. You all speak from a place of passion and emotion, but have no facts.
Gaslighting.
The woman that called her brother to this guy's house, and the guy brought his two friends with him, and then the brother got killed.
Okay, yes, that happens.
What about when these heifers set these black men up? Huh? They meet them on Tinder and they have two or three other brothers over at the house ready to rob this brother. What about when that happens? I've had former friends that has happened to.
Okay,
But my
okay,
question to you is that a cultural prevalence?
yes, men will stand up.
That's a cultural
Yes,
prevalence.
men will. If any man sees a woman
That's a cultural
prevalence.
prevalence.
If any man sees a woman getting the brakes off of, are you just going to stand there and look at her get her
I
brakes
know
off?
a man that don't. That's a cultural prevalence.
I just think it's
Man, because the way y'all making it seem like men just out here not giving a fuck about women.
Here's what I want to say.
That's just
since we're talking about numbers. Here's what I want to say to you. I believe 2 points. I just want to make these 2 points. 2 things that I'm very, very clear about. One is, and I know we laugh and we joke here all the time, but I'm very, very serious when I say that there's a relationship that exists between gay men, black gay men, and black women. And that relationship is generally speaking like this. That doesn't mean that there aren't black women who don't like gay men.
No.
And that doesn't mean that there aren't gay men who despise women, black women. But generally speaking,
no,
black gay men and black women have a relationship like this.
I don't agree with that.
And I believe, I'm sorry.
I don't agree.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Because y'all both got an agenda against straight men. That's why.
True.
That's
okay.
why.
Okay. Well,
who is both me?
no. Okay. Well, let me.
We're not talking about.
Let me draw my point.
It's not that they have an agenda, Mo. It's that they have accepted the agenda that was against black heterosexual men. They have accepted the agenda that was against black heterosexual men because, like I said, it gave us a channel to swim upstream that was not there before. Because we was all getting our ass whooped at one point in time. But the puppet master started playing with the strings. And he elevated the black woman and black gay people over the black heterosexual man. That was all by design. I said that before.
Don't you put me in that, because I don't want no gay niggas. Let me draw my point. My point is the relationship that black gay men and black women typically have is very close.
That's
ostensibly, at first glance, we typically think that black women and black gay men are close because we like the same things: fashion, the arts, luxury, going out to brunch, da. But no, the thing that binds us is that we have similar relationships and experiences dating black men. We have similar heartaches, similar disappointments, similar letdowns, similar traumas, similar stories.
I disagree with that because we don't even attack the relationship the same as black women. We don't handle our relationships the same. Because if we're comparing relationships between black gay men, two black gay men versus a relationship between a black woman and a black heterosexual man, they're gonna outlast us by far. Oh, they're gonna outlast us by far. Because see, while we want to compare, we got a lot of problems within the black gay community. Half these black gay men want to be city girls. They want to get the money. They want to get to the bag. And some of them, the majority of that half, can't even boil water. Ain't got nothing to offer but maybe some looks. That's it. Toxic. Just toxic. Love to be in toxic environments. And then you got the other half over here. They waiting for some Chris Brown masculine 50 Cent type. They want a thug. And they call that masculine when that's actually feminine. But they're so ingrained in thinking that if a person can fight or if they're just tough, then that's masculinity. And it's not. It's actually very feminine. So that's what's wrong with the black gay community. You know, a lot of these people, they want to be playboys. You know, they want to be bad boys. You know, there's too many options in Atlanta. I mean, you got so many options, you know, that you don't got to take a chance on getting to know nobody because you could just swerve to the next person, start something with them. So, yeah, that's the problem over here. So, I wouldn't be so quick to judge our experiences because we do not tackle relationships the same. Even our sexual experiences are not the same. Okay? Because this two men. So yeah, two men, you know what it is sometimes. Depending on the time. Okay? For the most part, you know, most women ain't gonna just let the man come up in there and just, you know, pull it out and they just start. A lot of women ain't gonna just be already naked on the bed, ass sticking out, ready for him to just come in and just no, that don't happen over there like that, like how we do over here. So we don't have sexual experiences the same.
Don't add no trainee in there.
Correct. That's a whole nother conversation. But my point is this. This is my second point, and then I'm done.
We've been done
I
50 minutes.
We've been done
ago.
for forever. But I can think of 5 of my personal female friends. I can think 5 of them off the top of my head. I probably can name more. But off the top of my head, I can name 5 female friends of mine who do not have children. They make 6 figures. They have their own home. They have their own car. They have their own career. They're educated, and they're all single. And they're single. And I said this here before. They're single because oftentimes they are like kryptonite to black men. Because typically, black men want to be with women who need them. Black men don't usually want to be involved with a woman who has her own money, her own whatever, because she's a flight risk. Because typically that kind of woman who has money and degrees and she don't typically sit and stay for the bullshit. But a woman who has children, who's making it, she barely getting by, check to check, she might be on social service, she ain't going nowhere. And you know where she is at all times. And she's needing you to support her, to help her pay her rent or So that's what typically happens.
Well, to your point, just like you told them 2 brothers, your friends are not the majority. Right? See, them same excuses and arguments that you give them can be used on stuff like that. Your friends are not the majority. Your friends are not the majority. Right? Because the majority of black women are not making 6 figures, single, no kids. That's not the majority, right? Okay, so your friends are not the majority. And I can't comment because I don't know his friends, you know? So that's unfair to comment on that because I don't know his friends. I don't even know if they really even exist. Not saying that they don't, but I don't know. So I'm not going to comment on that.
The last point is my female friends, one of my female friends in particular, the one that I went to Lowe's with the other day, she said to me, no black man has been better to me than my gay friends. You all just know how to treat us. And what I'm saying to you is
because y'all not fucking.
because we're not fucking.
Exactly.
But we show up
Exactly.
for straight.
Exactly, sis. Because if to his friend that he went to Lowe's and said that from a gay man, that's not a top. Cause your friend, he a top. So that's a whole nother conversation. Cause he got his pick of the litter too. And a lot of people of his caliber are just like those men that I mean, I've dealt with it. I've dealt with the guys that have had money and they want to use their money to try to control you and stuff like that. And then when they find out that, I don't care about money, I mean, I take care of myself. I can't miss what I ain't never had. Like I said, I ain't never been out the country. I can't miss, going to Italy if I ain't never been. So, it is. I ain't never owned a pair of J's. I can't miss owning a pair of J's if I don't know what that experience is like. So, when they find out that money don't control you or money don't rule you, then they get even more upset, trying to control you, trying to keep you in the house and stuff like that. That's what happens on this side too. And so to his friend that was with him at Lowe's and said that, honey, you if you was a gay man, you would still be singing that same tune. Cause it ain't no better over here. It ain't no better over here. And they'll be friends with you, but we won't be friends with each other. Once again, I think all of that stems from welfare. I really do. I really think, and this is something that, a lot of women might not want to recognize. Spiritually, when that happened, that was kind of like a knife in the back. Just how you don't trust and all of this, well, men have their reasons too. And that could be very well, much so one of them. It was just transfer down, transfer down. But like Mo said, all of that they saying is trumped by what Mo said. It's on both sides. Both sides are doing things to hurt each other. Both sides need to get along, get things in order, and get your children out of here. Both sides need to come together. Both sides need to talk. Look, I know I hurt you. I know I hurt you. Let's, squash it. We got bigger fish to fry.